Hey guys, this is Matt from Gamersphere, and I'd like to go over a little bit of commentary and an overview of the Nintendo press conference from today. I did this yesterday with the Xbox conference. If you'd like to take a look, I'll link it in the YouTube description. But I'd like to just talk about the Nintendo conference and kind of sum it up, give my opinions, and whittle down the important information to about 10 or 15 minutes. Um, the Nintendo conference was a lot shorter than the Xbox one yesterday. This one it came in at about 45 minutes long. Um, so that was kind of underwhelming because there's only so much content you can show in 45 minutes. I mean, they Nintendo didn't show as many games as I would have liked, but then again, how many games can you really put out on a console that's not getting third-party support? A lot of these games I think all of these games were Nintendo exclusives, yes, but at that there's just not enough to make an hour long, 2 hour long conference. It wasn't necessarily a bad thing because it got across the information quickly, but they really didn't drop any bombs. Um, During their conference, there were no titles except for maybe one or two that I really thought, oh, that's interesting. Oh, I didn't see that coming. They talked about Smash Bros. For about 5 minutes, it seemed like. They didn't throw out any new characters except for one. They didn't talk about new stages, new modes. They didn't really go in depth. They just more or less talked about the Miis. That was their big thing. They talked about how you can fight with the Miis in Smash Bros. Now. You can give them special abilities. But other than that, they didn't really talk about Smash Bros. And that's their big flagship title right now. That's the one that a lot of people are looking forward to, and I didn't feel like they capitalized on that. Um, they also talked about how the amiibo figures are going to be worked into Smash Bros. And a couple other games. The amiibo figures are basically Disney Infinity or Skylanders, but instead of being game specific or series specific, these figures will be console specific, as in Nintendo can pretty much put in amiibo functionality into any game they want because the amiibo figures will communicate with the gamepad and the gamepad will send info back to the figure. And so if you buy a little Mario figure, you can use that in Smash Bros, in Mario Kart, in the upcoming Mario Party 10, and in some unannounced titles they're going to put functionality in as well. And that's interesting because it opens up the door for a lot of opportunities, both good and bad. What I mean is that I'm not sold on the whole figurine deal. I find it as cheap. I find it as they're just money grabbing. That's why I haven't bought into Skylanders. I haven't bought any Infinity characters because I don't want to have to dump all kinds of money into a pay to play format. You can only unlock this level if you have this body part from Skylanders that allows you to get there. I hate that. Now, if Nintendo can do it tastefully where you're not having to buy extra into a game, I think they'll do well. Because the functionality with Smash Bros. Looks really cool. The fact that I don't have to have an extra base or like some port is cool. I just touch it to my gamepad, put it off to the side, I'm done. I like that. I may be picking some of these figures up. Again, that'll depend on pricing, but it looks different. It looks good. At that, like I said, that they didn't really capitalize on that too much. If there was one thing they talked about more than anything else, it was the amiibos. I'm not sure how that's going to play out because it seems like they're riding on these amiibos a lot now. I mean, they dedicated a good amount of their show and their after show to the amiibos. So, I don't know. We'll see. Aside from that, they did announce a handful of other games that they didn't really talk about much. They didn't really show a lot of footage. They just showed like a little clip or trailer. These are a lot of still in development games. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, I'd never heard of it before. It comes out holiday this year. Um, I didn't really get a good look at what the game is about, but it looks like it's going to use the gyroscope in like a first person kind of a way where you can use that to move your head around. I don't know how that's going to play into the gameplay. That remains to be seen. A Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game is going to be coming out August 29th. I believe it's 2014 for the 3DS. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse will come out 2015. I didn't see what system that would be for, but it looks like you'll be drawing paths for Kirby to run around on. Again, that's not 100% sure on that. I don't know what else they're going to be adding to that. Xenoblade Chronicles, set for release in 2015 for Wii U. Mario Maker, also 2015. I didn't see what system. It may be both. I'm not sure. It'll let you create your own Mario platforming levels, and that looks really cool. But again, I don't know if that's going to be a full $40 release or if that's going to be more of a $20 add-on on like the eShop. I'm not sure. Again, that remains to be seen. On top of that, they talked about Bayonetta 2. They have they had a new flashy trailer to show off, but I mean, it didn't really. Bayonetta wasn't something I was interested in, but if you were interested in it, this would be a good trailer for you. It also says that you'll be getting the first Bayonetta game along with Bayonetta 2 when you buy it for the Wii U. So that's a plus. They had some new Zelda information, new Hyrule Warriors information, and for people who are looking for a new Zelda game, this looks kind of different, interesting, innovative. It looks more like a gigantic open world. Like they showed on the TV, they showed a big screen of this vast landscape of Link riding his horse, Epona. Don't kill me, Link fans. I've never played Zelda. Again, don't kill me for that. But they showed this gigantic open world, and the guy was saying, if you want to go to those mountains, you can go all the way out there and explore this. So I think they're trying to do Skyrim meets Legend of Zelda, and I think that could be amazing. It could be really cool. It could show off the Wii U's capabilities. And for Zelda fans, that could really be a big point. It could really breathe life into the series. It looks like it'll be coming out for the Wii U in 2015. But the one game that I really am looking forward to now is called Splatoon. I'd never heard of it before. They just announced it for the Wii U today. It's basically third-person paintball, and you've got to shoot your paintballs to mark your territory, and then you can transform into a squid to move through the ink. So if you shoot up along a wall as a human, you can transform into a squid, pop yourself up the wall through the paint, and you can reach a new area. And this looks interesting because the more ink you have, the more points you have. But if you walk into enemy ink, it slows you down like you're going through tar. So it makes you vulnerable. So working together as a team to ink the landscape while sending the enemies back to spawn through getting kills, it seems like there's going to be a good balance of strategy there, of how you're going to do it, who's going to stay back and defend your base, who's going to stay as a squid under the ink. You could ambush somebody. You could just hide as a squid and then ambush someone when they come out. It looks cool. Or you can just go guns blazing and charge their base. It looks like a good use of the Wii U gamepad as well, because it can show you an overhead view of the map. It shows you not only the map itself, but it'll show you where the paint is, where your territory is, where your enemy's territory is, and you can prioritize that way. It looks like a really good system, and you can also use the gamepad as a sort of a camera mechanism, so you can tilt it up to look up or tilt it down. And the developers say this is a very natural thing. It feels good. So if that's the case, that would be great, because the one thing I hate about the 3DS games is that sometimes they force it on you or they make it feel unnatural to use the gyroscope, and I dislike that. Either way, I digress. All in all, I wouldn't say that Nintendo had the best show of all time for two main reasons. Three main reasons. One, they didn't drop any bombshells. They announced some new games, but none of them were big. They didn't announce a new Metroid. They didn't show off gameplay for the new Zelda. They didn't show a new Star Fox, although that has been announced, I think. There was nothing big. There were no, except for one character named Palutena. They didn't announce anything else for Smash Bros. There was no substance to their show. They showed off some new games, but there was no substance behind it. And that kind of makes me wonder how complete these games are. If they're not ready to show their games off at the biggest stage, what's wrong? Or maybe they're planning to show them later. I don't know. But if you're not going to do it during your press conference, it seems like a big miss. Um, that's problem number one. No bombshells. Problem number two, it wasn't live. That means that they pre-recorded all this stuff. It wasn't impressive because it wasn't happening as you speak. For the Xbox show, they were showing footage of someone playing the game live, and that was cool. But all this stuff was like pre-rendered, pre-everything. It was trailers. It was not gameplay footage. And that took away a level of engagement for me. Third, it was short. They really didn't announce a whole ton of things. They didn't go in depth with anything. It was just kind of, let's hit as many things as we can before our 45 minutes runs out. But when you really don't have all that to announce, then it kind of doesn't work in your favor. So, all in all, Nintendo didn't do a great job here. They did okay, but the rest of the week will show us how their E3 performance is going to be. It seems like this was really just them opening. This really wasn't them showing everything that they had. It's like they're holding back. I'm not sure whether that'll backfire on them at this point, but I walked away from watching the show a little bit disappointed. If I had to compare the Xbox show with the Wii U, I would definitely say the Xbox was much better. Sadly, I missed the PlayStation show last night. I was at work, but I'm sure it probably did better than this one as well. I was a bit disappointed, but if you're a hardcore Nintendo fan, there's got to be something here that you are wildly interested in. They showed a lot of different genre games. They just didn't show a lot of games, if that makes any sense. So that's my thoughts on the Nintendo event today. Hopefully I was able to sum up most of the big releases that'll be coming out this year and next. If there's anything I missed, let us know in the comments. Make sure you let your fellow gamers know. Hopefully I've been able to provide for you in a decent amount of time what you may have missed if you couldn't catch the show. So thank you for listening, and be sure to check Gamersphere.com for more in-depth looks at all these different games. And hope you come back next time. This is Matt from Gamersphere signing off. See you later.